Hi, everybody. It is Huggy, Lowdown, Chris Paul, and Coy Malone Day. How are you? I'm Sybil. Welcome to It's Sybil and our headline show as we talk to our friends about what's going on. So, Chris Paul, Huggy, Lowdown, you're just off the road. What's going on? How was the weekend?
We got to give some love to all the beautiful people in Raleigh, North Carolina. Great turnout. One big show last night.
One night only.
A lot of family members came out. It was just a great, great time.
Chris said, if it wasn't for Chris' family, we wouldn't have no audience.
Not just in their number, but their actual size. Really filled the place out.
They sure did, bro.
And Chris, that's where your family, that's where you do have, I don't know if you're from, but a lot of your family, I do remember North Carolina being one of your bases.
My family, we come from very lazy people. So when they freed the slaves, they didn't go very far. They didn't head to Chicago or to D.C. We gonna stay put
in Wilson, North Carolina. That's where my family from, Sybil Wilkes.
Is that right? Oh, okay.
My mother and my father. Well, my mother told me my father was from
Wilkes. In case for research purposes, you wanted to go and check things out.
So I still got a lot of family down that way.
Now, last week you guys were off because you were coming back from another big weekend.
Yeah, we were in Greenville, South Carolina.
Greenville, South Carolina. Oh my gosh, they set it out.
South Carolina. Yes, they did.
But tell them about my hotel view, Chris.
Oh, Huggy got there. You got there before me, and he checked in, and they offered him an upgrade. They gave him an upgrade overlooking a big ass cemetery.
Yeah.
Now that can be beautiful, or it can be a little disconcerting.
Yeah, I'm bragging like I got a beautiful view. I'm like, I opened the window because they had the electric blinds raised. I'm like, oh shit, it's a cemetery. And of course, my damn sister's like, that look like a cemetery. I'm like, no, it's a park.
It's a park
for dead people. For dead people, right?
Permanent placement.
Placement.
So then we left Raleigh. Yeah, we had Raleigh last night, and then this weekend we head back to North Carolina to do Greensboro, North Carolina.
Oh,
this time at the Comedy Zone in Greensboro. So
nice.
But we'll be plugging that over and over again this hour.
So. And Coy Malone,
you are at Greensboro, right? This week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure. I'm sorry, Coy. Go ahead, Coy.
Coy Malone, you're just off the set.
Yes, just off. Actually, not today. They actually were getting me prepared to be on set today, and then they were like, "Oh, sorry, we got you mixed up with the other stunt double." I'm like, how? We have two different names, two different faces.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you stunt double. You just threw that shit in there.
Yes.
What's going on? You're a stunt double.
Yes.
And so so quickly, what does that look like?
Do tell.
So now that pole dancing has gotten very popular within TV shows, movies, commercials, it is now an official stunt. And so when they want actresses that can do pole tricks, a lot of times I get called to do those stunts.
What?
The audacity for you to come on here and act like pole dancing just became popular.
Well,
it's been popular.
Mainstream.
Well, it is more mainstream.
Mainstream.
On TV, one of the TV shows that I'm stunt doubling on is all about pole. It's brand new. They're only in their second season. We're in the midst of filming the second season. So now it's become something that
you can't speak on what show it is. It's not my favorite, is it?
I mean, no, it's P Valley. So
yeah, down in the valley where the girls get naked.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. So it's become popular. Like, before you used to get a little pole dance scene real quick, and now there's a whole season of it.
Right.
And they call for stunt doubles, and so there you are, and you got all dialed up today, and they said wrong day.
Right. So
and Kenya Burris, I read Kenya Burris has a new show about pole dancers. It's called Polish.
Go vote on everybody. Speaking of speaking of new things and things that are going
better
on,
than Shippish.
let's talk about what's going on in our world. And this is definitely, Afghanistan is a number one topic. As we know, the United States has pulled out of Afghanistan. And let me just give you some statistics regarding the 20 years in Afghanistan. The now ending U.S. combat was the longest war ever for the United States, and something that we have not talked about. But the percentage of U.S. population born since 2001, attacks plotted by the Al Qaeda leaders were in Afghanistan. 1 out of every 4 people has been born since then. American service members killed in Afghanistan through April this year, 2,448. U.S. contractors who have been killed, 3,846. Other allied service members, including NATO members, 1,144. Afghan civilians, 47,245. And Taliban and other opposition fighters, 51,000 in that number. The number of journalists killed in Afghanistan, 72. Obviously, millions and millions of dollars they have to date. We're talking about, well, actually not millions, we're talking trillions. And a lot of this has come to a head, and now the president has spoken out about it. I'm wondering if you all saw his speech, and if you have any thoughts on that, or what happened as the days came down to the last second.
I didn't actually see his speech, but I've been reading excerpts of it on Twitter, and it sounds like he's really just trying to stick to his guns and stand by. Even though it wasn't initially his decision to bring everybody home, he is the president who followed through and actually brought everybody home.
Right.
So he said he didn't want to leave. He didn't want this to fall upon another president.
Upon the 5th, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Let me just say this: he did stick to his guns, and he committed to this during the campaign. But what he followed through on was what Donald Trump initiated, and a lot of Republicans throwing a lot of heat at President Biden. But this is what was started by Trump. Now, what I think what I think Joe Biden has to take responsibility for is the way that it was handled.
Right.
I think that he and his people not realizing the fall of this country, the way that it happened, and leaving, and this is what the problem I have, leaving so many people behind who were so instrumental in helping the United States, who now are at the hands of the Taliban, who likely will be dead within a matter of time.
Right. It's like they had way too much faith in the Afghan forces just because we trained them.
Yeah.
They obviously were not up to speed. Obviously not up to speed on this, because, I mean, it fell quickly.
Right.
Quickly.
Not up to speed, not up to technology.
Right.
Not up to resources, all that.
Right.
And when you talk now, it's like, well, we'll get them all out. They'll just come and they'll submit their papers, and it's like, where do they go? The embassy is closed. They moved everybody to the airport before they all got out of there, and having to fill out all these papers in English and transport them to the United States. How long do you think these people are going to survive before, and with United States government speed, have their papers approved and get them back here?
Right.
That's ridiculous. That's the problem I have. And with all the advances that they made for women and young girls in that country, and now that's all gone. Or soon will be.
I saw, I can't remember her name, but she was like the first female mayor that had been elected.
Yeah.
She's stuck there, and she said she's just waiting for the Taliban to come and kill her.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing with her hours. She's just waiting.
Yeah. And communicating with people, saying, how are you doing? What can we, and she tells them, I mean, and what do you say after that, Chris? Sorry?
Yeah.
That's it just boggles the mind that, and I'm also curious if you guys have talked to any military people who were over there, or, because we're getting a lot of stories about military saying, why did we go? What are we there for? When you think about the fact that, was this all for naught?
I haven't talked to any military people, but to expound upon what you just said about Trump being the one who put this initial pullout in motion, we also can't forget the Republican president who started all this.
Okay, let's go there.
George W.
That's right.
Like, we act like the George W. just because the Trump administration was so horrible.
Yeah.
We act like the horrible Bush administration didn't exist.
He wasn't as horrible. They
Right.
wasn't as horrible, right?
Right.
And how we got started in all of this. That's
Right.
right. That's
Right.
right. So you look at Bush, Barack Obama can say, well, we got bin Laden. I don't know what more you wanted from us there.
Right.
You saw nothing happen in Donald Trump until the very end, where he decided he was going to pull all the troops out, and in a fashion that collided with reality. And now we are where we are, and with Joe Biden saying, I stand by it. I'm just not going to let another year, another minute, another day rather, pass into another administration. And so here we are. But the pictures that have come out of there, when you see the people who are hanging on to the planes,
Right.
Yes.
onto the fuselage, people just running and running and running. It was just it was heartbreaking.
Sad.
And let's not forget the backdrop of all those thousands of people we see at the airport trying to get out. There's still a pandemic.
And
There's
then
still a pandemic there. And the Taliban, I was reading some of their policies. There are no vaccinations.
Right.
It's against their religion.
Yeah.
So,
well, maybe there's some people in this country that want to do that, want to go there. Dora Levette Tiggs on Facebook says it's sad, but the Afghan president was the first to leave. Yeah. And once he saw that his military wasn't up to providing security and to fighting the fight, he fled, leaving his own people.
He saved himself.
And endless was with no return and nothing to gain for the United States. This was a lose-lose situation. This was definitely a lose-lose. One of the other things that we talked about in the newsletter today, not only because we do want to keep people up to date with what was happening, because that was the preponderance of news over the time, but also talking about politics and Haiti. An earthquake in Haiti last weekend. Now the death toll well over 1,000, and this is a higher count. It was 7.2. This was even higher than the devastating earthquake of 2010. Just a little bit, but it was higher. And so, and they lost hundreds of thousands of people in that earthquake. And to add to this,
I'm sorry, somebody made me turn off my fan earlier. I had a nice cool fan blowing on me, but
I think we can. I'm gonna speak for our production crew, and I'm gonna ask you to put your fan on.
No, I'm gonna stick it out.
Because you're a trooper.
But we're talking about Haiti, and I never like to be like competing news stories, but it just feels like because of what's going on in Afghanistan, Haiti is not getting the same amount of news coverage.
Right.
And I'm not saying the story in Afghanistan is not a big story, but my God, what's going on in Haiti is a humongous story.
It is humongous.
And it's an ongoing story on top of that. This is something that they keep dealing with.
Coy, they have not recovered from the other earthquakes. And so, as well as the political unrest, their president was just assassinated.
Right.
And now they have a new prime minister installed. And thank you, Annie, on YouTube. Absolutely, a storm. Grace.
And we know you're keeping the light on Haiti, but we need every media outlet to keep the light on. I mean, you're multitasking. You're keeping the light on Afghanistan and Haiti. Everybody's got to do that.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, you're sitting here watching your cable news. You can't just be watching hour upon hour of Afghanistan and never once having a camera crew near Haiti to talk to people, to see what's going on down there, to see how we can help people in other how we can send aid.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes I can't help but think that it's not like that because that's a black country. To be honest.
Well, as the former president called all of our black countries, whole countries,
that shithead. It did make the news today when Naomi Osaka mentioned it.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's a big celebrity, and coming off of what just happened at the Olympics and everything, they felt the need to cover it. But my God, it shouldn't take Naomi Osaka.
Yeah, well, and she did step up as the news of the earthquake first came out, and she said that she was donating the proceeds of her prize money from her tournament to Haiti, which is her father's homeland.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then and we'll talk about Naomi as we go through. But to get back to what's happening in terms of the storm Grace, up to 15 inches of rain expected in parts of the country, bracing for possible flash floods and mudslides. On top of the fact that they are still looking for survivors and trying to recover from this, and they said tens of thousands are now homeless. And this is also in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, increasing violence and political unrest. It's just a devastating situation, and as we have said, definitely not getting enough attention. I was lucky enough to work with Tom at a time after the last devastating earthquake of 2010, and he took a group of us over there to work with an organization called MedShare, and to meet those beautiful people. And they were so resilient. And the babies, the children that survived that earthquake, and it's always had a real place in my heart, since then. But it just breaks my heart.
I'm going to repeat what somebody said to me and Huggy last weekend in Greenville. Mm-hmm. The world has gone to shit since Tom Jordan went up there.
That's exactly
what the dude said. The world, everything has gone horribly wrong after Tom Jordan decided to retire. Before he retired.
What he said.
Right.
Wow.
And we was like the emoji. So we was like.
So we go back in the green room. We go to the green room. We're thinking, well, if that logic holds true, then maybe the way to reverse it is if Tom came back. Could he save it?
He
Tom
can work
Jordan
from home.
saves the world.
I know it's a lot to ask, but I tell you what, we damn sure know that somebody would have spent 4 hours this morning talking about Haiti.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right. Can we also talk about Grace? Can we also give some attention to Tropical Storm Fred making landfall in the Florida Panhandle and expected to bring dangerous storm surges, river flooding, and possible tornadoes? Fred,
why not Frankie?
Maybe that's for the next cycle.
In that TV show Frankie and Grace, yeah?
Yeah.
Frankie and Grace. Wow.
By the way, a brand new season just dropped unexpectedly. Did you know that?
I did.
My wife's so damn excited.
Oh, good.
She loves that show.
Good. I do too. I like it a lot. I do. I was late to the game,
Jane got a new
but I
face.
do like it.
New face.
So yeah. So what's up with Fred? How bad is Fred?
Fred is pretty bad, in terms of just being a tropical storm. So it had not reached hurricane status, and it, of course, will weaken upon landfall. And one of the 3 Atlantic storms currently being monitored by the National Hurricane Center. 3. We talked about Grace and Fred, and Grace in Haiti. Tropical storm Henri has formed out of the 8th depression of the season. And this is the 4th earliest on record for an 8th storm to be named in this season. I'm
so thankful climate change is a hoax. Because woo! I heard last week that we averaged 2 degrees hotter than we've ever had before.
Right.
And now we got storms everywhere. I'm so thankful it's a hoax.
How great is that?
Because if it was real, it'd really be bad out here.
Yeah, exactly. Henri is on the East Coast, and it's they say right now hovering around Bermuda. So you guys may get some of that on the East Coast. So please be careful.
How you pronounce it, Sybil? Just in case.
Well, it's Henry.
Henri.
It's Henri.
I thought you said hungry.
DC is looking out for Hurricane Danielle coming through. They named the storm after Huggy's sister.
Anything you want to share with us, Hug?
No.
Okay. So let's talk about what's really going on. What's really going on.
Hold on, we gotta do that. We gotta do that better. Say,
okay.
You say, let's talk about, and then we're gonna say, what's really going on. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Let's talk about
what's really going on.
Beautiful. That
so
was
now all of your guests have to do that for now.
Okay. I'll make sure that you all have set the tone. Have we gone too far in the whole mask and vaccination mandates? We have a number of, I don't know if you guys have this on the East Coast, but certainly in the state of Texas, a number of school boards are suing governor of the state. Florida is another state who don't want mask mandates. Kids are going back to school and the governors are saying your kids don't need to have masks in class. This is, and especially for children under the age of 12 who cannot get the vaccinations, and they are saying no masks are necessary. And so they're taking the governor to court and getting these anti-mask mandates thrown out. The second one is a violent clash between anti-vaxxers and pro-vaccine demonstrators. This happened last weekend at City Hall in Los Angeles. One person was stabbed and
shanked.
Yeah.
They are really going in. It's crazy.
A stab wound after fights broke out at an anti-vaccination and anti-mask rally between demonstrators and counter-protesters in Los Angeles. They said in a tweet, the fight broke out by the Los Angeles City Hall and no arrests were made. One man stabbed and was taken to the hospital and monitoring the protest. A video of the altercation posted by a television producer showed a man in camouflage punching a man in a yellow shirt before he took a swing at another man with an American flag covering. Other men can be seen pushing each other and throwing punches and bopping each other over the head with flagpoles. And one person can be heard in the background yelling, "Unmask them all."
Wow. Just wow.
It was a real shit show. I saw that.
It's really...
One reporter says that he was attacked while covering the protest, and this has been going on a number of times with people who are out there covering the stories. He says, something happened to me today that's never happened in 30 years of reporting. I was shoved, kicked, and my eyeglasses ripped off my face by a group of guys at a protest outside of City Hall during the anti-vax recall. And the anti-vax recall of Gavin Newsom pro-Trump rally.
Yeah, this is the climate that Trump set. This is the climate that he set.
Yeah.
Right. He left the whole country on fire.
Yeah.
There are like wildfires everywhere in our country right now. I'm not talking about the ones in LA. I'm talking about the ones in people's communities where they're setting them at school board meetings. Mm-hmm. We had one out here in Loudoun County. People were ready to go to blows, and some people did go to blows over that critical race theory that wasn't even being taught here. And now that kids are going back to school, you're starting fires with your kid having to wear a mask or you have to be vaccinated. I'm like, they're a bunch of fucking idiots. How many videos have you seen of somebody regretting they got a vaccine? Versus how many videos have you seen now, people on their deathbeds or in the hospital saying, I regret so much. I didn't get a vaccination.
I didn't get a vaccination.
Right. And it still ain't enough.
It still ain't enough.
It's not. It's not. Are you guys having discussions? Because I think all of us know or are related to people who still don't want to get the vaccination. And what kind of discussions are you having?
Oh, I don't speak to them anymore. You ain't fucking up my minutes. You just get tired, man. You just get tired.
I mean, I know some people who were hesitant to get vaccinations that didn't, and now finally, I guess the Delta just became too much. It's like they didn't get vaccinated because they had their reasons why. And then everything opened up again. So they figured it's all good.
Right.
But now they see that it's not all good.
It's a spike. What
was
I saying on stage this week, Chris?
Can I buy you ladies at this table a drink? Is that
Hello,
or
ladies.
something different.
Nah, that wasn't me, bro. Sybil, I said these people are getting recomfortable.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're getting recomfortable.
Yeah.
Recomfortable.
Okay, so every day in our newsletter, we have a coronavirus section every day for the last 18 months. And the one fact and figure that is now out is that they are expecting, as a result of the Delta variant, they're expecting another 100,000 people to die before the end of the year.
Damn.
Do you think the media has some blame here? Because
absolutely,
just like everyone else, people in America, we were just so happy to be able to have restaurants open again, and comedy clubs, and airports and everything.
Restaurants.
Do you think that maybe it was promoted, the media covered it too much as such, as if we made it through and it's all good now? Because by the time we all heard about this Delta variant, that it was really being talked about, it's like it was too fucking late. It's like people are dying left and right again.
Well, they've been pushing that whole narrative the whole time, though, Chris. They've been pushing that whole narrative the networks was pushing that whole narrative the whole time, bro.
I mean, because networks, like, they're covering, they want sports back. So the fact that they opened up the baseball fields again and got people packed up in there, so they don't talk about it when you watch the professional sports now. You think they had preseason football all weekend long? You think anybody talked about, whoa, there's a lot of people in here considering there's the Delta variant?
No.
No. They're probably told, don't mention that shit. It makes everybody sad.
Right.
It makes everybody sad.
But it's reality, though, bro. It's reality.
Coy, what do you think? Do you think that the media and the way that they are positioning the stories on COVID, that they are, on the side of trying to make people forget and not realize the destructiveness of this variant?
I feel like they're making people realize the destructiveness of the variant by they're pushing this vaccine still. They're still saying, hey, listen, these are the numbers that we're seeing as far as people that are unvaccinated. These are the numbers that we're seeing in terms of people that are vaccinated. This is what's happening. This is what you need to do. I'm seeing a ton of coverage on a lot of different news channels. But then we also are still seeing a lot of these events. Like, there were different concerts that have happened. Even here in Atlanta, they've had Birthday Bash. What was that out in Chicago? They had Lollapalooza.
Right. They had Rolling Loud down in Florida.
Rolling Loud. Yeah, that's what the baby got in trouble.
Right. That's happening everywhere. I'm seeing a new college party coming up in Atlanta, and it's supposed to be some pajama party for college students, and it's maxed out. They've sold all the tickets, all the sections. And I'm like, so on an entertainment side, I'm seeing there's not really worry about it. But on the news side, I'm seeing coverage about it. But there needs to be something in the middle that says, hey, this is what you need to do should you decide to partake in these activities. And I don't know. It's just like people are throwing caution to the wind and they don't care whether they're vaccinated or unvaccinated. And I feel like people need to understand there's something still serious going on. Even if you are vaccinated, don't act like you're invincible.
Right.
But it's like how the networks are covering it. It's not just the fact that they probably feel like talking about coronavirus makes people sad. Like they don't want to bring that up during sporting events like football. I said this weekend. It also divides people politically. So if you are on covering the football games for Fox or NFL Network, and you say the fans come out this year, we hope to see you all wearing masks and socially distancing. All the people who we just saw rallying outside stabbing people, they're going to be pissed.
Right.
And then they're going to say, we're not watching football anymore because you guys are mandating this. So the best thing for them, they feel economically, is not to say shit and let us figure it out.
Chris, when the Olympics came about, and I was really vehemently opposed to them having the Olympics this year. I wanted them to wait another year. And NBC, of course, they were making a lot of money off of this.
Right.
And they could not ignore the fact that all the stadiums were empty. They could not ignore the fact that they were waking up family members so that they could encourage their athlete in the middle of the night as they're winning or going through their various races and everything. But they're as affected as anyone. But the bottom line is the bottom line.
Right.
The almighty dollar is going to take care of this.
It's money. It's always money.
So I got a real good question.
The crazy thing about the Olympics, though, you're talking about the bottom line is the money, but we're talking about athletes who didn't get anything. They competed for their medals.
Yeah.
But they didn't get paid for that. Even the NBA players didn't get paid for anything.
Right. The vast majority walk around.
But they're NBA players. They got money already.
But how come NBC was charging? You had to watch the NBA, except for the very final game with Team USA. When they finally got into the medal round, you had to pay to join Peacock.
Yeah.
I paid $5 to be able to watch the damn Olympic basketball team.
Yeah. How did that work out for you?
I canceled Peacock as soon as that shit was. I don't need the office.
What's your question, Coy?
So, interesting topic. While we are speaking about COVID-19 and the vaccine, I came across a news story that talked about a young man who was being released.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah.
Yes.
So go ahead.
And the judge mandated that as a part of his probation release, he has to get the COVID-19 vaccine or he goes back to jail. So the debate that I've brought up online is, do you think this is pushing the vaccine too far, or is this judgment way out of bounds?
So here's the story. An Ohio judge ordered a young man to get the COVID-19 vaccine as a condition of his probation. This is the judge, Christopher Wagner, ordered defendant Brandon Rutherford to get vaccinated within 60 days of his court appearance on August 4th or face jail time. And Mr. Rutherford says he won't get vaccinated despite the judge's order. He said, I'm not taking the vaccine. He said he was kind of shocked when the judge told him he had to get vaccinated as a condition of his probation. He said he wore a mask to court because he's unvaccinated and the masks are not required. Non-vaccinated individuals are encouraged to mask up inside.
Get vaccinated in prison. Remember, the shot goes in your arm. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them trick you.
So get that one in. So get this. The judge said the defendant was in possession of fentanyl, which is deadlier than the vaccine and COVID-19. He expressed no objection to the proceedings and stated no medical concerns, and his attorney did not object. They said
that's the shit that killed Prince.
Michael Jackson.
Damn.
So, I'm just curious, as far as you guys are concerned and your thoughts on this particular story that Coy has brought to us.
I'm like, bro, get the shot. Go home.
That's what I'm thinking. But a lot of people, and I'd like for our listeners to chime in too on their thoughts on this. What is everything okay?
Yeah, somebody came in my office.
Oh, did they turn on the air for you?
No. But it's so hot, the door is sticking.
Uber Eats threw your fucking pizza on the floor, Chris. Uber Eats just knocked.
That's because my wife and I, we went down to Raleigh, and my daughter, while we were gone, she was in Richmond visiting her brother. So I had to turn the AC off while we were gone.
Oh, of course.
So the whole house is not even, we only been here a couple hours, so the whole house is still piping hot.
That's a big ass house. So it's taking them 3 hours to cool the house down.
But also, while we're talking about vaccinations, I got to give a shout out to Coy and her city. The Atlanta Falcons became the first team in the NFL 100% vaccinated.
Wow.
100%. And then you got teams like the Washington football team who can't get anybody to get a shot, even though their coach is a cancer survivor. You selfish bastards.
Go figure.
And look at Kirk Cousins for the Vikings.
Right. So the Falcons are 100% vaccinated.
Wow, that's great.
They're not going to make the playoffs, but they're going to be healthy as hell.
Mind you, have fake vaccination cards that have been caught in Louisiana.
I saw that.
So now it's time for the What You Need to Know newsletter. And going inside of our newsletter, please take a look at it and also subscribe. It's absolutely free. Go to SybilWilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address. You don't have to fill out anything else. And it'll be in your email box every Monday through Friday morning, first thing. And Coy, you are first up. You have your social justice story, Coy Malone, talking about another Black person blocked by a restaurant due to her wardrobe. What she was wearing. So give us a lowdown, Coy Malone.
So there was a young lady by the name of Ariel Bonner in Birmingham, Alabama, who was eating at a restaurant called Southern Kitchen and Bar. She had already checked into the restaurant, placed her order, began eating. This is when management came up to her and said, well, you're dressed inappropriately and it violates our dress code. So here's a company t-shirt that we have. We need for you to put this on. And she says, there's nothing wrong with how I'm dressed. I'm not putting on this shirt. And they say, well, basically you need to put on this shirt or leave. And if you don't leave, we're going to call the police. So she ends up leaving. Now, mind you, let's rewind real quick. This restaurant on their menu features a menu item called plantation pimento cheese. And they have a plantation mural on the wall. This just gives you a landscape of what's going on with this restaurant. So she decides to get up and leave. Mind you, the top that she has on is like kind of like a crop top. It's crocheted. They keep calling it a bikini top. The same restaurant that says
wouldn't that be a bikini top?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean,
she's wearing a bikini top.
Is a little longer.
She's wearing a bikini top, and then we're gonna call the cops on her.
Yes.
Damn, there must be some big titties. Damn.
Or pretty.
Titties.
Or pretty. So the thing about this restaurant is they have no dress code policy posted anywhere. She asked about the dress code, and they say we don't have to disclose it because we're a private owned company, so it doesn't have to be posted anywhere. Mind you, after she's talked about this on her Facebook page, one of her supporters reposted a photo of an actual Black woman customer sitting outside the restaurant with an actual bikini top on that they use to advertise for the restaurant.
I was going to say every time, and a lot of times this has happened in Atlanta at restaurants there. Whenever somebody is getting thrown out of an establishment because of the way they're dressed, there's always somebody else in the restaurant dressed identical.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's not catching any shit.
Right.
You talking about the brother?
And we'll spot them. We'll spot them. Like I've been in restaurants where they make me remove my hat.
Oh yeah.
And
that was a barbershop. That was a barbershop. That was
doesn't matter.
You're gonna get your cut.
Man, cut around this shit, man. It doesn't matter.
Don't say anymore. The lawsuit is still pending. Lawsuit is still pending.
But let me ask you this, and let me play devil's advocate here for a second, because I do understand that the way people are selectively choosing Black people to kick out because of the way they're dressed. Even Dominique Wilkins pointed this out, as you said, Chris, in Atlanta. But so why do we go to these places?
That's Sybil. I always say, if you don't like my Black, you don't like my green. I'm not spending money with you. I'm not spending with you.
Right.
Same thing.
Are we going to make a point and to get some attention?
This new culture don't know how to boycott properly. So they prepaid boycotters. They say they're gonna boycott some shit. And it's like, I don't know, man, but that Hawaiian steak is so damn good.
Well, it is good. It is good, Hug.
It's like the foundation is laid by us culturally hyping up a restaurant that's not owned by us, first of all.
Right.
And then it becomes the spot where you got to go to. You know, Dominique Wilkes is not going to no bullshit restaurant. He's obviously going to a place that's deemed the hot spot, the place to go to.
But
and there was another couple. Remember
the couple? Let you know how they really feel about you.
Right. Like, remember the couple? The couple who were there, she took her man there for his birthday or something in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he had on sneakers.
Right.
And they said no athletic wear. That was the spot. They made the reservation weeks before that and everything. That's the spot. We got to start better choosing the places we decide.
And he tried to do an intervention. He called T.I. He called all the all the big wigs he knew and try to, this shit, man.
But see, Dominique is French, and he was at a French restaurant, so for that, I don't blame him for that. It's not far off.
Coy, I'm sorry. Dominique is from Atlanta, just like you.
Yeah, he's French.
He was born in Paris.
That doesn't make him French.
He's from France, like for real.
He was born in France. That doesn't make him French.
Right.
His real name is French. It's like Jacques something. That's close enough.
Dominique.
Coy.
Okay.
Please don't tell us you fell for Dominique Wilkes bullshit. Please don't tell me he romanced you with that bullshit.
In a club.
That's why she wear that motherfucking bow on her head.
Oui. My petite Coy.
Like, girl, I met a nigga last night. He French.
He ain't got them coins. He got that French bread.
We were at Waffle House. He ordered French toast. Don't tell me you fell for Dominique's shit.
He said he was born in France.
Coy?
No.
Hey man, y'all not gonna believe what I told you.
That nigga from Stone Mountain.
Y'all ain't gonna let me live.
He's
One is fish and one's drink.
Parlez-vous, voulez-vous coucher? He did some of that old Lady Marmalade stuff to you.
Wait till you meet his boy from Germany, Shaquille O'Neal.
He was born in Germany. He's German. My little Wiederhosen. Okay, all right.
Guten Morgen.
My Wiener Schnitzel. Wiener Schnitzel. Wiener Schnitzel.
You're getting a great laugh off of this.
Would you like to see my sauerbraten, Fräulein?
Who else is from France? LeBron.
LeBron
James.
LeBron Guillaume.
Du Perry. LeBron.
I tell you what, these Atlanta niggas got some real game.
Okay.
They was spitting that game. Oh, man.
You're a good sport, Coy. You're a good sport.
Man.
He said it's on Wikipedia. That nigga put it in there.
Right.
Yeah. Are you the Wikipedia editor that allows this stuff to go
Request sent.
Okay.
Edit sent.
Okay.
Shout out to Dominique. That's one
of
the best friends.
Okay. When he calls you, said, "Allô, Coy? Ma petite chouchou."
Comment allez-vous today?
Today. Or as my friend's father used to say, "Come on in the alley, vous."
Oh God.
Also, we talk about in the newsletter, we do a Black business story every day. And today we salute Queen Bee, showing that Black is king in history and in business. She is about to debut her latest line in her fashion wear. It's Ivy Park Rodeo. And it's her take on Western wear. Now, the really interesting thing is that she uses history and the Black cowboy with a real Black cowboy who is Glenn Turman.
Wow.
The actor, right? So he has spent his life as a cowboy. He has a ranch. He has a program for kids to learn how the cowboy ways and to how to ride horses and things. And he and his granddaughter, who is a cowgirl, are featured in the Ivy Park Rodeo collection. How cool is that?
That's great.
That's dope. That's dope.
Great.
Yeah, so in this, they are going to be showing a whole bunch of Western wear, a lot of different clothes, shoes and other footwear, as well as accessories. And they will be, showing what Beyonce has learned coming from Houston and black cowboys, the rodeos and things that she grew up going
That's
to,
huge in Houston.
and Dallas too.
And
Shout out
Dallas,
to
right.
our friend Kevin Woodson, who also is a part of that. It's moved west to California as well.
Okay.
And so a lot of kids are now exposed to this, but she's showing, as she did. Remember when she did with the whole HBCUs?
Right.
She did it with the Juneteenth celebration,
Right.
with the song there. And so now she is incorporating it into her fashion wear. And she does this on the regular, you guys. She does really great things, like on her website.
And
She
on that
lists
level.
all of
Right.
she lists all these black businesses, and especially those that are making a stand for social conscience and making a stand for incorporating history and black businesses and how we need to support them. And so
That's awesome.
and it really is awesome. It really is. And so I commend her. And that's why she is Queen Bee. I really do. I'm very proud.
Chris, we need to take some lessons, bro.
You guys.
What kind of lessons from Beyonce on how to be cowboys?
You ever been on a horse, bro?
Yeah, the horse handed me the saddle.
That was some
Horse said, "Nigga, shit."
knock that.
You ain't finna ride me. What?
I'd rather go bull riding than you go on a horse ride.
Right.
Here you go.
Right.
It's my
Bullshit.
turn to get off my feet.
Coy, you do a lot of different stuff. Are you a horseback rider?
I was when I was a kid.
In the French countryside, perhaps?
No, I actually rode. So funny. I did ride horses overseas. That's when
Of
I
course,
was
see?
riding horses.
It wasn't in
Whoa,
front of
whoa.
Kmart, was it? It wasn't in front of Kmart, was it?
No.
After we saw the video of
I need
Corey-
another quarter.
Corey riding those little scooters down the hallway, she should not be allowed to ride a horse. She's crashing that horse. She's crashing that horse.
I did not do it for long. I'll tell you that.
So, Coy, for people who may not have heard, tell us about the ride that Chris is referencing, where you were on that 3-wheeler or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, getting ready to go out of town to perform, and there was a 3-wheel 360 scooter in the studio where we were meeting and rehearsing before leaving on tour. And I rode that thing all around the studio. I crashed into the walls. I knocked over little billboards and stuff that they had set up. And I'm like, man, I'm going to tear up these nice people's studio. And they're letting me.
She crashed so many times. Dennis Haysbert walked out and sold us insurance.
That girl?
The general was trying to holler, huh?
The general was
The Geico was
right. The Geico. The gecko was right there.
Uh-huh.
Hello.
Lima, the emu, the Lima. I fucked that up. Go on. Fuck it.
The
I bailed
gecko.
out, so I bailed out.
You wouldn't be the first man to tell me that, Hug.
What's in that cup, bro? What's that cup? You started to sound French.
That's water. That's water.
You started to sound a little French.
Dominique.
Huggy.
Dominique Lowdown.
With a clue.
Pepe the Lowdown. All right, so Coy, you have done the horse riding thing. Do you have a good sense? You have a good sense of Black history. Do you know about the Black Cowboys? Maybe we'll get Kevin Woodson on one day to talk about that.
Yeah, that'd be dope, Sybil.
Somewhat familiar with the Black Cowboys and rodeos. My knowledge.
Don't say nothing about Mario Van Peebles.
No. I actually do have a family member that is a Black rodeo Black cowboy.
Wow.
That lives out in Texas now, and he regularly participates in rodeo. So that's about as far as my extent and knowledge in terms of that.
So Beyonce says that she is proud to represent her Houston culture, her roots, and all the people who understand This is funny to me. Fried Snickers and fried turkey legs. And then she talks about the collection merging fashion with Western tradition and features buckles, chaps, a denim tracksuit, even a cowboy hat, among other pieces, and even understanding where the word cowboy came from and how much the black, brown, and native cowboy stories are missing in American history. So hats off to you, Beyonce. We appreciate it.
Hats off to you, Beyonce. Where your hat, bruh?
Another room.
Oh, shit.
But I do have my chaps on.
That's why you fucking sweating.
Right. You need the fan now.
You're over there making au jus.
Y'all look at you with the French again.
More French.
More French.
Let's talk entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. And you referenced her earlier. It is time to take a look at our girl, Naomi Osaka, who, as we said, was donating her money, her prize money, in her first tennis tournament since she bailed out of the French Open. She broke down in tears and needed a break after a media member reportedly asked her an aggressively toned question. She was fielding several questions ahead of her appearance at the Western and Southern Open in Ohio. And then, according to a tennis reporter, a media member asked Osaka a fairly aggressive tone question about how she benefits from a high media profile, but doesn't like talking to the media. And apparently she had already addressed this question. And then this person from Ohio came back and asked her the question in a different way and I'm big on tones. I get it.
Right.
So with this, she started to cry. And she was wiping away tears, pulled down her hat over her face, and eventually needed to step away from the podium. She's obviously not ready to come back. But I think in a case like this, and Chris, you and Huggy can talk to this as members of the media and as sports people, in terms of the kind of relationship that you build, but also the aggressiveness on the part of media.
Well, the media, it's like the media represents the fans. They don't represent the actual athletes out there. Mm-hmm. They believe they need to get answers for the sports fan. And the sports fan is really not that attached to what you're going through emotionally. Right. Mm-hmm. Like you could take any athlete who's gone through something in their career. Let's take Tiger Woods. When he crashed the car and his wife beat his ass or whatever that was, nobody cared about what Tiger was going through. Right. They didn't care that Tiger may have emotional problems or he may have substance abuse problems. You know, they want the answers they want so they can present it to the media. So nobody is really talking to Naomi Osaka like she is still going through something. Mm-hmm. They believe she took a weekend off from that tournament, so she should be good right now. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
And she really shouldn't be obligated to talk to the press. I think she should find maybe one or two dedicated people, like probably a black female in the media. Mm-hmm. And only right. I was gonna say Jamel, and speak through them.
Right. Somebody that gets it.
Right. Somebody that gets it.
Right.
Maria Taylor is a perfect person, to go on in there and talk to her. Her agent slammed the reporter in a statement following the press conference and said, the bully at the Cincinnati Enquirer is the epitome of why player-media relations are so fraught right now. Everyone on that Zoom will agree his tone was all wrong. His sole purpose was to intimidate.
Clickbait.
Really appalling
Clickbait.
behavior.
They be trying to make a name for themselves, too. So.
Right. Because the first person to make her cry again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a great time for her it would be great if she could just turn into a cat and then just swat him in the face and nobody could say anything. Because nobody says nothing about cats that hit people in the face. She should be able to do that. She should. They don't.
What French cartoon is that from, Coy?
I smell some of them plants she got over there.
I know. A little roll and twist there, young girl.
I get it now. I get it.
You need to loosen that bow.
No, really, if she reacted any differently, then the media would have something to say about her reaction when this is what you're causing her to do. Like, she's already under a lot of pressure, obviously.
Right.
She's had now an emotional response to it. What if her emotional response was different? What if she did lash out and do something like throw something at the person that asked the question?
And we also know social media is a mother. Like, social media is not good for 99% of all people's mental health. Social media is not good for.
Right.
You know, because she's also dealing not just with the sports media, she's also dealing with her critics, and she's dealing with the people we will call some black people. Like some black people, after it came out that she's donating all her winnings to Haiti, some black people were like, shoot, she needs to give them more than that.
Yeah, right.
You know,
exactly.
that's all she's going to give.
Can't nobody count your money like black people.
Like some black people.
Like some black
Let us wrap this up, gentlemen and lady, as we give you, it is time for Yogi's.
Oh, shit. My cat just swatted me in the face. The hell did I say?
You got a cat too, Chris? Me too.
Well, I can't beat that.
It's
Only thing I can
juice.
do,
Let's do Yogi's
I can.
juice.
Okay, so it's now time for
Be
Yogi's
careful,
jewels.
be careful with that cat to the face, Huggy. Be
Yeah,
careful.
really, Huggy. You be careful with the cats in
Won't
the
be
face.
the first time.
The best protection from negativity is positivity. Okay, we've had a little of both today.
We have. We apologize for all the
We
negativity.
apologize.
At Chris Paul, at Huggy Lowdown DC, and at Coy_Malone, right?
Yes.
Correct.
All right, thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Hey,
Greensboro!
what'd you say, Chris?
Greensboro, we'll see you at the Comedy Zone Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Get your tickets at thecomedyzone.com. Thecomedyzone.com. We'll see you there.
Greensboro, get ready. Bye.
See ya.